All right, episode 2 of Allen Pridecast. I am here with Andy Shaw, 8 seasons at Allen Community College. Andy, last season, hit his 100th win, 5 out of the 8 seasons winning record, and he has beaten every conference team at their place. Mm-hmm. So let's welcome Andy Shaw.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
How's things been?
Things are going well. Right now with the coronavirus, things are a little bit different than normal at this point in the year. But recruiting's going well. We're sitting at 14 guys as of this moment, and looking to add a couple more to finish out this class. But we've had pretty good luck with recruiting, through all the circumstances, and like I said, just trying to finish up the class now.
Yeah. Now, you're from Oklahoma originally. You attended Santa Fe High School, I believe. Mm-hmm. You won a state championship. Mm-hmm. And then you had many scholarship offers, but you chose to go to OSU in state. Mm-hmm. Was that a dream to play D1, or is it a dream to play D1 at OSU?
It was a dream to go to Oklahoma State. Coming out of high school, I had some Division IIs and NAIA schools recruiting me, and I probably could have went on and played at those levels, but my parents went to Oklahoma State. My grandfather taught at Oklahoma State and lived in Stillwater. And, growing up, my dad had season tickets. And so I went to games all the time. Anytime we could go to a game, we were going. From the time I was really little, I went to every camp at Oklahoma State in the summer. And so whenever they offered me a preferred walk-on spot, and they were recruiting a teammate of mine, Obi Manello, and he was, a top 50 player in the country, and had people recruiting him from all over, but they saw me and they knew me from the camps, and they offered me a preferred walk-on spot whether they got Obi or not. Yeah. And once they did that, that's all I needed to hear was I had a spot on the team. It was a walk-on spot, but they wanted me to be there and be a part of it, and it was a no-brainer for me when that happened.
I've always enjoyed Stillwater because the Oklahoma Cowboy Jamboree, that is the largest, longest running cross country to me. I love the chorus. I've always felt like Stillwater was a small town, and that campus has just exploded the last 10, 15 years. So Gallagher, right? Is that the name of it?
Yeah, Gallagher Arena.
How loud is it? Because they sit on top and yell down, right?
Yep, yeah. The stadium goes pretty much straight up, and when that place is rocking, there's not many other venues that are louder. It's comparable to Fog Allen Fieldhouse with KU, and there was a lot of times in the 2 years that I was on the team where full Gallagher Arena, it was loud, and the floor starts shaking. That's what other teams say. They used to the floor,
the camera
exactly.
camera was shaking. They'll try to change angles just because of the camera shaking. Yeah,
no, it's a wonderful arena. It's a historic arena, and they've made some upgrades in the last, right whenever I left. Actually, they remodeled the locker room. It's a 2-story locker room, and it's got TVs all over the place, pool table, everything you could think of. But I pretty much bleed orange. Now I have to wear red. Being at Allen, my mom always got a kick out of that because I would refuse to wear red because that was the color OU, and that was a big rival. So I never wore red growing up, and then now pretty much daily I have to wear red. So, but I still pretty much bleed orange.
Sounds like coaching runs in your family. What got you into coaching? I'm assuming you just grew up with it, so it's something that you arbitrarily, not arbitrarily, but you decided. Did you always know you wanted to coach?
I did from a pretty young age. My father coached me growing up from the time I can remember playing, and coached me in high school. He was our JV coach in high school, and assistant varsity. So he was with me there. He was with me in the summers, playing AAU ball. So, like I said, from the time I was really young, he was coaching me, and that's what I knew I wanted to do. I went to, like we talked about, I went to Oklahoma State and got my master's just so I could coach at the college level. I didn't really care what I got my master's in. I have it in psychology, but I wanted to have it so I could coach.
It's a win.
It's something I've always dreamed of doing, and I was very fortunate to, right after Oklahoma State, come here and become a head coach at a very young age.
Now, see, you played at a 4-year, and you coach at a 2-year.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think I'd be here very long, and like you said, now I'm going on my 10th year overall because I was an assistant for 1 year, and then I've been head coach for 8, and but I was blessed, really. I didn't take the traditional path. I was an assistant for just 1 year, and then the head coach left, and I thought, what better opportunity than now to try and get my first head coaching job. I was 23 years old at the time, and I didn't think I'd get it, but I was fortunate that the committee selected me, and I took it and ran with it, and I learned a lot that first year. I thought I knew everything, and quickly learned that I did not. And
baptism by fire.
Exactly.
You learn by failing. Either
Exactly.
you win or you learn.
Exactly. And we struggled my first year, and I always look back, and that's the worst year I've had here, but it's probably the best year for me personally, because I learned how hard you have to work, how hard I learned about recruiting and just really about everything, what type of system we're going to play, and really coming up with what I wanted to do in this program. And even though we failed, it's kind of led me to where we're at now and the stability that we've got to over the last 8 years.
I feel like this level for someone like you, it is good because you're able to learn everything else. How did after that injury happened? How did they prepare you? I had to prepare you for you somehow.
Yeah, it did. So to make a long story short, I had a shoulder surgery in high school, my junior year. And then I had it again my sophomore year of college, and then I dislocated my shoulder again. So I was going to have to go. I was looking at a third surgery, and like we talked about earlier, knew I wanted to get into coaching, and I thought, what better time than now? There was also a coaching change from Sean Sutton to Travis Ford, and so I didn't really know what my future was going to be like with Travis Ford coming in.
That happens too with coaches.
Yeah, exactly. And I was very fortunate he let me stay on and help as a student assistant while I was still getting my undergrad, and then I finished up my undergrad and wanted to get my master's, and so he let me be the graduate assistant coach at Oklahoma State, and he really let me do everything. I got to sit in on all the team meetings, the coaches meetings, the film sessions late at night after games. I got to travel to every location, every away game, so I really got to see everything. And the biggest part is he let me help on the court. Being a grad assistant, I could be on the floor and huge. Help in practice.
Just understanding game changing in the moment changes, because you can. It's like Mike Tyson say, everyone has a plan. You get punched in the face, punched in the mouth. So as a basketball coach, you have this game plan. You have everything lined out. We're going to do this, this, and this. Well, the other team hits you in the mouth.
Yep.
And you got to freeze up, and then you're able to learn from that level.
Exactly.
Okay, what are you going to make in the game? How are you going to change things on the fly?
Exactly.
Because sometimes you're going to have to adjust because the other team ain't going to let you just come through here.
Yeah, and to me, that's what makes a great coach, and hopefully one day I'll be labeled a great coach, but making those in-game adjustments is huge, because everybody's got their plan that they've been working on the last 2 or 3 days of how we're going to stop the other team, and what we're doing defensively. Are we switching, or what ball screen coverages are we doing, or whatever the game plan is. And then at some point in the game, other team's going to make an adjustment, and then you have to make an adjustment. So it's that chess match, back and forth. And no, that's a big part of it at the college level. I stay pretty consistent year to year. There's always little tweaks that we'll do on the offensive end, as far as different sets and having wrinkles to different sets. But for the most part, I mean, everybody, it's no secret in our league, I do a ball screen offense, and everybody knows it. That's what they always talk about when they're preparing for us, is got to get ready to guard, hundreds of ball screens throughout the game. And we evolve. It's an offense that's evolved from I started it my second year as head coach and really liked it, and I've really grown it and added more to it. There's a lot of verbiage that goes into it, a lot of calls that go into it, and so I like to have a plan for every single type of ball screen coverage that the other team is going to do. So, I've been doing it for a long time now, and have a pretty good grasp on it, and we can adjust on the fly just by one word that I say of what we're doing within that offense. So, like I said, it's no secret that's what we do, but like I said, I do like to add to it and add little wrinkles every year, and continue to study. That's what I do every summer, is I pick one thing that I want to study and try and see how can we implement this into our team next year, or maybe we don't implement it. But I like to continue learning about different options. And then defense, we've been pretty standard. I don't change that philosophy too much. We're about 90% man-to-man, and we'll mix in some zone every now and then, or some run and jump presses, but that's been pretty consistent over the years.
Each year, and I noticed, I think I said this to you a couple years ago, it seems like 2 or 3 guys emerge out of your system as big-time scorers. Their average just shoots up. I'm assuming the system itself brings that out, and I know at JUCO, everyone's trying to get, my shine on or whatnot. And I felt like if I was a 4-year coach and I was coaching or I was recruiting, I would look at, your roster and I know basketball is, do your role. If you do your role exactly, the team will get better. I know it's hard in this day and age, like I want to score. If I was, a 4-year coach, I'm sure I would look at certain guys and, okay, I need a rebounder. I need a grind guy. I need a guy that's going to go out and give me, 5 to 10 each half or each night and just do this task perfect.
Right.
I know in the 2-year school, do you find that hard, or is it easy, or how's that work?
Yeah, that's what's unique about junior college is all of our kids, we're trying to get the best players we can here, but then we're trying to help them move on to a bigger and better situation. And so, sometimes you do see that a little bit of selfishness, but I always go back to preaching, the more we win as a team, the better it is for everybody on this team, and because coaches, if they're looking at players that are equal as far as numbers go, they're going to take the kid who won more games. They're going to want a 20-win kid over a 10-win kid just because that kid's used to winning and will sacrifice to win. So you do see it a little bit, but that's why we always preach teamwork and doing it together. And it's not about what we do individually; it's about what we do as a team. And again, the more we win, the better it's going to be for everybody in the room.
And I know his model, obviously I'm a big Kentucky Wildcat fan, so Calipari, he pretty much has a junior college team every year. I always laugh at that.
Right.
And something, I know it's easier to sell on that level because of the brand and everything else that he has to come with it. But you see guys who aren't scorers who are just doing their role the best they can. And because the NBA looks at that stuff, the 4-year schools will look at, okay, that guy, this is how he fits in, to this system. He's not he doesn't care about the scoring. The scoring will come as it goes.
Right.
So I always wonder about that because I don't have to worry about that playing time.
Right.
It's training. You're an individual who runs a race. Your time is a resume. Only time I've ever had to really worry about, spots and is like a relay or when we have to narrow it down for top 7 at nationals. Right. For most part, I never have to deal with one ball, 5 guys. Right. I never have to deal with that stuff.
And that's what I find interesting whenever 4-year schools call me on kids. They usually know the kid can score. So we very rarely talk about offense. They've seen the kid's number. They know he averaged 18 points or 15 points or whatever it is. They're going to ask me, can he defend? Yeah. What are his grades like? They ask all those other questions. They know he can score. Yeah. That's why the initial call came, but we don't talk about that. We talk about everything else in that kid's life, and are they a good kid? Do they go to class? Are they doing the right things off the floor? And defense? Do they rebound? Do they care about winning? They ask me those types of questions more than just about what they do on the offensive end because they already know that. They already know they can score.
It's probably hard for a 18, 19, 20, 20-year-old kid in that environment to feel like, well, I got to score to get attention. No. This is what they're calling me about. They're calling me, how do you do this task well? Because at the end of the day, that's going to get you, the looks from the 4-year schools.
Exactly. The 4-year schools, they're not bringing in as many kids as we are. Every year I'm bringing in
they might need
8, 9, 10 kids. Yeah, they may be bringing in 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, and so they're looking for specific pieces to plug into their system, and that can benefit them right away. It may be a scorer, maybe a rebounder, maybe a defensive stopper. For them, they're going to be a little more picky and choosy because they may be looking at kids for 2-3 years on down, but just looking to fill in that one little spot.
The junior college for 4-year schools is an instant plug and play, instant plug and play. I might want a guy who's a great on ball defender who can move his feet. I got a point guard who's starting who's about to leave after next year to the draft or whatnot, or he has one more year. I need this guy to come in to fill in his minutes.
Yep.
I need someone who can create more pressure because that guy creates pressure. Well, I need a backup to him. Yep. And you lose that because obviously everyone wants to score points and get all the glam and there's no glamour in playing on ball hard defense and shutting someone down. Yep. I always wonder how that works out. Kind of to get off the topic. Your wife also coaches. Did you imagine meeting your wife at Allen? Because I met my wife at Allen Community College, and we I lived here about 2 years, and had no idea. First time I ever met her. I was out with the boys. The coaches at one of the establishments here. Yeah. And I met her there, and I never could have imagined I would have met my wife at Iola, Kansas. Bam, right there. But you met your wife. How was that?
Yeah. So we met here. We were both assistant coaches, and she's the assistant volleyball coach. And we met in our first dorm meeting, and we started out as friends, and grew into a relationship. And we've been married 5 years now. Just last week, married 5 years. Appreciate it. And But yeah, no, it's an interesting dynamic. It's a dynamic that not a lot of married couples go through because we both are head coaches, and so we're both very competitive, and we don't play games together because someone's going to be mad. That's about one of the only times we fight is if we're playing some type of game.
Oh yeah, I could imagine.
Yeah, against each other, and but at the same time, it's great because we understand each other. If one of us loses a tough game, we kind of know when we get home, like, hey, I'm taking care of our daughter tonight, and I'm going to let her do whatever she needs to do.
Your seasons crossover ever, or
usually not. Usually hers is ending right as ours is starting.
So it'd be tough if you won a huge game and she lost a heartbreaker and you can't really celebrate. You go, hey honey, I'm gonna go out and take the trash out, and you're outside just celebrating. I'm gonna go walk the dog and just celebrating.
Yeah. Fortunately, they don't. Hers ends and ours starts. Sometimes like the next day later, or a couple days later. So. But there's not a lot of time in between, obviously, and so she goes from her season, I go right into mine, and but she's very supportive, and I try to be supportive as well, and to know like, hey, if we win a big game, let's celebrate and enjoy it, and if we don't, we kind of take care of whatever we need to and let them get through that night and before we move on.
My wife is in the medical profession, so she's used to dealing with people, and you're used to dealing with people. Mm-hmm. It's nice to have someone that understands. Sometimes you just want to be left alone.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're moody. That is the biggest issue you hear with marriages, and other coaches talk about their wives or husbands and whatnot, and it's all they don't understand. I'm moody. Yeah. Like, you win and lose, you win and lose, you live and die by the sword, and that was the one thing that we instantly, and it was more her. She just like, I don't feel like talking on the phone. I don't feel like I'm just in one of those moods, and I got it.
Yeah.
So that was really key, and I know with coaching, you get what the other one's going through, so you're not gonna. Well, why don't you talk to me? Or it's I know to leave you alone.
Exactly.
So that makes it easy on the small issues that everyday life deals with.
We try not to bring it home, but sometimes it does. Or if you go out recruiting and you don't get back till 4 a.m. the next day, you might
understand each other.
Exactly. Yeah. So it does help a lot, and she's, like I said, she's very supportive, and I try and be the same way when she's in season.
I brought this up before, and I got to bring it up kind of to change the pace. It was before like social media became like sound bites and things like that. Were you in school with Mike Gundy? Because I'm 39, I'm about to be 40, so I feel like I'm going to be a man according to Mike Gundy. I'm a man, I'm 40. Come after me. That was one of the best sound bites. That was like 09, I believe.
Yeah. So I would have still been there.
What was that like?
It was great. I mean, it immediately blew up. He was on every television show, and it became T-shirts.
Oh,
and,
yeah. Did he trademark it?
Really blew. I'm sure he probably did. No, it was great. It was, and what I liked most about it is it was him sticking up for his player.
Yeah,
he was sticking up for his guy, and it's still talked about today. It seems like every year they do a montage of it.
They
with
did one
coaches'
in
sound bites.
17 when he was 50.
Yeah.
It's like, you're no longer a man, you're 50
right.
now. I'm still a man and 50.
Yeah, no, Gundy's he's great. That kind of got his name out there, and then now obviously the big thing with him is the mullet that he's got.
Oh, that was money. It's solid. It's got more this. It's not trailer park mullet. It's very classy mullet. It's like a business mullet.
Yep. Gundy's coaching. He's got the mullet, and he's got his sweatshirt tucked into his khakis, and he's got his own look, and he's not afraid of it, and he's had it going for years now. And
own it, man. I love that. I love that. But yeah, that soundbite was amazing. And every time I'm like, I'm almost 40. I'm gonna be. I'm a man almost at 40. Come at me.
That's good stuff.
So back to coaching. Daddy daycare. You guys had a child, right? Your first child. How old?
Yeah, Tatum. She's 3 right now. She'll be 4 at the end of August.
How was sleepless nights? That killed me. My wife and I, I'm 39, and I we had ours when we were 30, 31, and I've been adamant. There's no way I can have another one.
Right.
I couldn't do that again. And that was both of us are very much like that was rough. Are you? How was that with you guys in terms of the sleepless nights?
I'd like to think coaching prepared us a little bit for it, in that our sleep schedule can vary, from during season, but. No, it was really tough. I mean, Whitney missed her first game of the year that season because we had Tatum right at the start of her season, and so she didn't get to coach that first game. But we had to trade off, and she was right in the middle of her season, and so I had a lot of the sleepless nights. But it was it was pretty tough there for a while, but it got better after a couple of months. But like everything, you get the routine of it, and everything's been good. But yeah, now Tatum she's 3, almost 4, and she's been a blessing. She's it makes the losses sting a little bit less when you get home and you see her and she's excited to see you.
Yeah.
So
it makes it go away.
Exactly.
You quickly forget about everything. With
she's getting real close to that. Being 4, she'll hopefully get swimming lessons, and then before too long, I'm sure we'll be doing the dance and the t-ball and working our way into all that. So yeah, it's she's getting to exciting age. She's a lot of fun. She keeps us on our toes for sure.
Till those prom dresses hit. And
oh boy,
I
don't even want to think about that yet.
I went through that with oldest daughter, and it was my wife dealt with that. And there's sometimes this prom dress wasn't good enough, or this prom dress I don't know about this one, and I'm like. The virus thing hit, man. That was your guys' season had just ended.
Right. Yeah, it's been really weird. We like you said, our season ended, and that's always a sad time when that happens. But at the same time, when that does happen, not too far down the road, we have March Madness coming, and that's something I always look forward to. Obviously, being a basketball coach, and so I really look forward to that. And conference tournaments, the Big 12 tournament, and then that flows into the NCAA tournament, and so it's kind of a really fun time, and it really helps with my spirits after our season ends, but yeah, this year, we got to spring break, and usually we start up our postseason workouts after spring break. They kind of have a couple weeks to let their body rest and let their mind rest, and then we start up our postseason, and our kids didn't come back from spring break, so it was tough because I never got to say goodbye to my sophomores that I won't see for a long time, and. Or I didn't get to see them walk across the stage at graduation. Things that you look forward to kind of like tie up the year and finish things off the right way. And
felt like a scab just was ripped off.
Yeah.
And then I was telling Jeremy when it felt weird coming, spring break hit, and when they finally announced, okay, they're staying home online on campus, there's a ghost town. It was. It felt just like summer feels.
Exactly.
And I for a while I was like, what do I'm not in summer mode because it's still March.
Right.
It's like this. It was very weird across the board.
Yeah, I've already felt like we've had our 2 months of summer.
I'm actually ready for the season. I feel like my body's like, all right, man, you've had time to get back, but no, now it's started.
Yeah, exactly.
Now the summer
it just started. So yeah, it's been difficult, but I'm staying optimistic about next year and hoping things are probably gonna be a little bit different, but I'm hoping that we're able to compete and get back to some sort of normalcy, here soon, hopefully.
I have to laugh at this. I brought up before, I'm a runner, short shorts. And all through the late 90s, early 2000s, the trend was the baggy, the shorts, I always got made fun of.
Yep.
The last 3 or 4 years that you see the basket, like 5 or 6 rolls. When did that start? Did you notice it? Do they come to you and say, hey, coach, we want short shorts? They're not John Stockton short, but they're definitely like the chubbies, the 4 to 5, 6 inseam. When did that start?
Yeah. So my first couple years, they were fighting over the double XLs.
Yes.
And now over the last, it's probably, been 3 or 4 years, I guess the trend has definitely switched, and now they're all fighting over the smalls. So I have guys that are 6'5" plus, some guys 6'8", wanting to wear smalls or mediums.
That's funny.
So it's the fight is definitely over the small and medium shorts nowadays.
Has the manufacturers picked up on it?
They have.
Okay, finally, because the whole time I'm thinking, I was like, when did they? Because they want to make money off of everything. Like when have they figured this out? That the trend is.
Because now if kids get some of the freshmen are going to have to wear XLs when they don't want to. So like you said, they're rolling them 4 or 5 times to turn them into mediums, and so that's definitely the fight nowadays. But I've made note of it, and next time we order uniforms, I'm ordering a lot more smalls and mediums than I wanted to originally, or that I normally would have. So
never would have thought that would have trended. Never would have thought that would have trended.
It's funny how things go in cycles like that. But the short shorts are definitely back.
That's nice. Now they're not 80, 70 short. That's too short. That's my running short. Yep. But they have enough. And I can see with the bagginess, like even when I'd play pickup games, at the Y or whatever, I never liked shorts below my knees.
Right.
I'm already awkward and clumsy as it is. I don't need anything holding me back. I didn't want to play in running shorts because it just looked really weird. But I always wanted shorts that were above the knees,
right above the knee,
and I did nothing catch. Do you see how's that with basketball? Do you see yourself? Is there stigmatism? Do you fight the negativity, the negative recruiting? Like, because a 4-year school wants to undercut you. Do they, or do they try, or how's that work with you?
I haven't seen it a whole lot. I think there are schools who recruit junior college and there are schools who don't. So I think that's just the philosophy of that head coach at the 4-year level, and you quickly figure out which schools do and which ones don't. But I guess the biggest thing that I see is even with the kids, and it's not their fault, they're young kids, but they think junior college is going to be the last resort, and I'm going to go here and put up big numbers, and so we kind of fight that sometimes, just knowing or getting people to understand how good junior college really is. I mean, it's competitive. In the conference we're in, for every sport, not just basketball, it's every sport. It's football, cross country, track, soccer, everything. It's big time college athletics, and I always tell all the kids we recruit, you're going to be playing against Division I players on every team that we play against. Some are going to have 1, some are going to have 3, 4, 5. You just never know, and so. Getting people to understand that junior college is not just some last resort. Oh, I'll just go there and do my thing. It's you have to come here and be a really good player to make it out and be hungry and figure out how college actually works. Yeah. And it's a great first step for some kids who might not be quite ready, but it's competitive, it's tough, and so we kind of fight that a little bit. Kids thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to go be the man at a junior college." No, you're not. You have to be really, really good.
Well, you played D1, so that's got to help in terms of, hey, I played that level. This is what they're looking at.
Yeah.
They might, this is whoever's in your ear telling you it may not have played D1.
Right.
You can give them the actual information of what it needs. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. No, obviously we don't have all the resources that the D1s have, but I try and I stole a lot of things from Sean Sutton, from Travis Ford, even from Guy Hardacre, who was my high school coach, who my dad coached with growing up. And so I've taken a lot of pieces to make my philosophy based off of things that I've seen firsthand from higher levels, with Division I, Division II, and so I've kind of pieced it together and took things I like and tried to blend them together. But I try and operate as close as I can to a Division I program. Yeah. Like I said, the resources are different, but the expectations, the team guidelines, rules, all that are things that I've picked up from high major Division I coaches.
Well, like I said, I've been very impressed since you've been here, because the staff size compared to the other junior colleges and things like that, you've never let that get in your way of having success. You've gone on runs, and obviously, what was it? Was it 14 or 15? You guys had one of 2 games away from the conference championship.
Yeah, we went to we were first place in the region in the East that year. I think it was 13-14 when I had Courtney Stockard, who went on to play at St. Bonaventure, and Jermaine Long was a freshman that year. He went on to ETSU, and we kind of surprised everybody. We won the East region and went to Wichita, and we got beat by Pratt in the first or the second round down there. It was a great game, but we had a good year that year, and that was kind of the turning point in the program, and kind of set the bar for what we want to do, and just trying to continue to grow it every year.
Something I meant to touch on earlier, I was curious about. With me, I don't race a whole lot, and you run really bad. You can go away 1 to 2, maybe 3 weeks, and not race again to regroup and regathered. As a coach, you're playing every so often. You don't have the liberty. You would love to just take a step back, figure things out. You got to figure things on the fly.
Yeah.
How's that been for you? How's that been as a coach?
Yeah, with basketball, we're playing pretty much every Wednesday, Saturday. In November, sometimes it's Tuesday and then Friday, Saturday. So, yeah, it's quick turnaround. After a loss, we can't dwell on it. We have to move on and start preparing for the next team, because in the Jayhawk, you lose one game, you can't sit there and cry for 2 or 3 days, because you're about to play another team that's really, really good in a couple days. So just trying to move on and and see what we can improve on the next day in practice, but also start getting the scout prepared for that next team. So like I said, with just me and one assistant coach, we're all in. We're moving quickly and trying to regroup and and move on. But I also kind of like that because it doesn't. You can't dwell on it for 2 weeks.
No.
You know, you're right back into it.
Sometimes you have to get a kid who's 18, 19, 20. Like, hey, you got to have a short term memory. You're only as good or as bad as your last race.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I always applaud you. You don't take the shortcut or take the easy. You don't play a bunch of JVs. You throw your baptism by fire. You throw your teams into the fire. Like, hey, let's get our butt kicked early on. Let's see how we react.
Exactly.
Like,
we try and I try and schedule pretty tough in the non-conference. I'm always going to go down to Oklahoma and play against some Oklahoma schools, some
Family
full ride schools.
Exactly.
And we've gone to Missouri a couple times and played against Moberly and State Fair, and we've had some success against those type teams. But those are the type teams that are going to prepare us for a conference. You know, we'll have a couple of JVs, but I don't want to fill up with 8 or 9 JVs because then you're not getting prepared. You're going to get smacked in the mouth whenever you play a Jayhawk team. We try and prepare our guys and get out of the state a little bit, Missouri, Oklahoma, and play some of the good competition.
Yeah. Well, man, that's all I got. I appreciate you taking the time to come, and I look forward to having you more and throughout the year.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Appreciate you having me. Thank you. Yep.
That was good.
Cool.